Like many seniors, Doris and Ken Brock look forward to their golden years. They found a cabin in the North Woods of New Hampshire and spent several years remodeling it into a retirement home of their dreams.
I wake up on a postcard every day. That's what we used to call it. It's a postcard.
Brock was a retired Chief Master Sergeant who spent 35 years in the New Hampshire Air National Guard. He enjoyed puttering around the house, but following a checkup for an overactive bladder, something went terribly wrong.
60% of his bladder was filled with cancer, 60%. And his left kidney wasn't working at all because it was blocked off from the cancer cells.
Doris watched her husband of 46 years endure chemotherapy treatments during the final 2 years of his life.
He couldn't move. You know, he was just really sick.
After Ken died last year, Doris tracked down other members of her husband's unit, the 157th Refueling Wing located at the Pease Air National Guard base. She was stunned to discover that a high number of veterans have been diagnosed with organ-related cancers and other illnesses. 43 out of 80 retirees have died.
These are, you know, what they consider cancer clusters. They are. Right. These men are dying, these women are dying. They've had illnesses that are just horrible.
That includes Dave Eaton, retired Chief Master Sergeant, worked with Brock in the same Air National Guard unit at Pease. A third of the members serve on active duty and spent their careers on this massive runway. Several years following retirement, Eaton was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer at the age of 63. Both men worked in aircraft maintenance on the KC-135 tankers, handling a number of toxic chemicals, including de-icing liquid and jet fuel, for years.
You know, they didn't really think twice about putting their life on the line. A lot of them aren't here anymore. That's not right.
In the early 1960s, Ann McCurry's husband, Ed, served as an Air Force firefighter at Pease. This is video of when a KC-135 caught fire on the tarmac during maintenance work. There were no injuries. McCurry says her husband's unit conducted training exercises, setting fires with discharged jet fuel, paint solvents, and putting them out with firefighting foam.
And that was his job, to walk into a whole fire full of poisons next to a well that gave everybody their water.
McCurry received a medical discharge and died of bile duct cancer at the age of 56. That well supplied the base's drinking water. It closed in 2014 after tests showed high levels of chemicals known as PFAS. The chemicals were in the firefighting foam that seeped into the groundwater. All three women believe the long-term exposure to the industrial chemicals and drinking water contributed to their husbands' cancers.
It's not just a New Hampshire issue. There's many Mainers that work there, many Mainers that still work there.
Gary Enos lives in Gorham. He served with both Brock and Eaton at Pease, a job he loved. As a young airman, he wasn't aware of the dangers of the chemicals he worked with. During his 30-year career, he watched other airmen die of cancer, and after retirement, a scare of his own. Early detection found prostate cancer and then bladder cancer several years later. Gary is still undergoing treatments. He wants the military to investigate if 18 other National Guard refueling units across the country have such a high number of organ cancers as well.
If we are the only ones that have this high cancer rate, then to me that just sends like all kinds of flags up.
What we found out is there possibility that they were exposed to industrial chemicals over the years.
Colonel John Pogorek is the commander of the 157th Operations Group for the New Hampshire Air National Guard. He says wing officials can't confirm the number of veterans who have died from different cancers or who have been diagnosed with illnesses. But he doesn't doubt what Doris uncovered about the high number of Guard veterans who have died or who are sick.
I believe what she's saying. It's tragic. I know many of these folks as well. So I think that's what it's important to kind of have a study, see exactly what's going on.
The Air National Guard is pushing for a study separate from the ongoing federal health study into the contaminated drinking water at Pease. The probe could look into the health impact of long-term exposure to industrial chemicals and possible links to organ cancers. Efforts are also underway to make blood testing available to former wing members, possibly by the end of this year. In the meantime, the widows are trying to carry on after the devastation of losing their loved ones. They are worried that it could be too late, though, for retirees living with cancer right now and have no clue, just like their husbands.
These men and women deserve better, you know, than what they have. You know, we've lost an awful lot of friends.